After the electric storm of Gemini and the brutal friction of yesterday's solar square, the sky completely changes frequency this morning. Can you feel the silence settling in? The moon has entered Cancer, its home. If yesterday you felt like a soldier holding the front line against the pressure of the past, today you might feel suddenly disarmed. It is likely that you are experiencing deep physical exhaustion, heavy eyelids, or an inexplicable urge to cry. Do not hold back that cry. It does not come from sadness. It comes from relief. This is the post-war. Your nervous system operated at maximum voltage for the last 72 hours, processing hard truths and fighting against old habits. The metal heated up. Now the waters have arrived to cool the structure. Do not try to be strong today. Do not try to be productive or rational. The rigid armor you put on to survive the crossing and sustain the vision served its purpose, but now it is too heavy. It is time to take it off. The imminent danger has passed. You crossed the portal and won the endurance test. Now you need to be held. The universe is building a sanctuary around you, a bubble of emotional safety where the integration of your new self happens not by force, but by feeling, to warn your body that the battle is over and that it is safe to lower your guard in your new reality. Leave this decree of protection registered now. Write in the comments, "I am safe." The first and most overwhelming phenomenon that marks the entry of the moon into Cancer is not emotional. It is purely physical. We call this the fall of the armor. To understand what your body is asking for today, you need to look at what it endured in the last 4 days. Under the electric storm of Gemini and the rupture tension of the solar square, you entered unconsciously into combat mode. Your sympathetic nervous system took control, pumping cortisol and adrenaline to keep you alert, articulate, and ready to defend your new truth against the attacks of habit and the past. You stiffened the muscles of your back, locked your jaw, and kept your visual focus sharp. You wore heavy psychic armor to ensure your vision was not broken by the resistance of the world. But this morning the war ended, and the body, sensing the change in the atmosphere, entered a controlled collapse. Today, you are not just tired, you are disassembled. You might feel extra gravity pulling your bones toward the ground. The idea of maintaining an upright posture, projecting your voice, or facing anything seems biologically impossible. Your shoulders, which yesterday sustained the weight of the decision, today seem to want to melt. Your legs feel made of lead. This is what we call parasympathetic rebound. After a peak of high performance and defense, the organism needs to trip the breakers so as not to burn out. The moon in Cancer is the ruler of the tides, and she is ordering the tide to go out. The metaphor of the fall of the armor is literal. Imagine a knight who spent a week sleeping, eating, and walking inside a 30-kilogram chain-mail suit. While the danger existed, adrenaline made the weight seem bearable. But the moment he enters the sanctuary and the danger ceases, the perception of weight becomes unbearable. He needs to take it off immediately or he will suffocate. You are feeling the weight of your own defense. The rigidity that protected you yesterday now hurts you today. The mental strategies, the sharp arguments, the readiness for debate, all of these are pieces of cold metal that do not serve the territory of waters where you have just entered. In water, whoever wears armor sinks. To float in Cancer energy, you need to be naked. The ego, addicted to the productivity of war, will try to fight against this fall. It will look at your exhaustion and call it laziness. It will try to whip you to get out of bed, to answer messages, to seize the day. Do not obey. That voice is the general trying to give orders in peacetime. If you force productivity today, you will be committing violence against your own biology. You will be preventing the healing process. The weld we made yesterday needs to cool to harden, and it only cools in rest. You will notice that your skin seems thinner today. Your tolerance for the harshness of the world is zero. Strong lights bother you. Loud sounds seem like aggressions. Someone's coldness hurts more than it should. This happens because by taking off the armor, you expose the raw flesh of your sensitivity. This is not weakness, it is the recovery of sensitivity. During the battle, you needed to anesthetize yourself to advance. Now, to integrate the victory, you need to feel again. And feeling again starts by feeling the tiredness you were denying. Allow yourself the weight, allow yourself the slowness. Today is the day to drag your feet. It is the day to wear loose clothes that don't tighten the waist. It is the day to eat hot, soft food. It is the day to refuse invitations that require social performance. If you feel like lying down, staring at the ceiling, understand that this is not wasted time. It is incubation time. The crab, symbol of cancer, only changes its shell when it is hidden and safe. You are changing shells now. The old shell of your ancient identity cracked, and the new skin underneath is still soft and vulnerable. Do not expose yourself to the strong sun of other people's judgment today. Protect your exhaustion as if it were sacred, because it is. It is the sign that you gave everything you had in the previous days. The honorable warrior rests without guilt. Drop the shield, drop the sword. Let the metal fall to the floor with a dull thud. Breathe without the tightness in the chest for the first time in the week. You are safe now. No one will attack you while you sleep. The fall of the armor is not a surrender to the enemy. It is a surrender to your own home. As soon as the armor falls and the weight of the metal touches the ground, the second phenomenon of the moon in Cancer takes control. If the first stage was the collapse of the body, the second is the overflow of the soul. We are entering the necessary flood. It is likely that in the last few hours you have felt a sudden pressure behind your eyes, a knot in your throat that is not of unspoken words as it was in Gemini, but of unfelt feelings. You might be washing dishes, driving, or just staring at nothing. And suddenly an overwhelming wave rides through your chest and tears begin to fall without warning, without apparent reason, and without permission. Many people panic at this stage. The rational mind, which was in charge until yesterday, desperately tries to find a reason for the crying. It asks, why am I sad? Am I regressing? Did I make the wrong decision, and am I regretting it? Stop. Do not analyze the water. What is happening is not sadness. It is cleansing. It is not depression. It is physics. During the Gemini transit and the solar square, your body was charged with a massive amount of static electricity, nervous tension, racing thoughts, state of alert. Excess electricity burns the system if retained. And what is the best conductor to ground electricity and take it out of the body? Water. Today's crying is the cooling system of your biological engine. Imagine a sky that has been grey, heavy and oppressive for days, accumulating humidity and heat, but without raining. The air becomes unbreathable. The pressure in the head hurts. When the rain finally falls, it is not a tragedy. It is salvation. It is the moment when the atmosphere breaks to be able to breathe again. You are the sky. The crying is the rain breaking the barometric tension of the last few days. You will notice that this crying has a different quality. It is not that desperate, sharp cry of loss. It is a warm, liquid, and heavy cry. It is a decompression cry. Often it comes accompanied by deep sobs that seem to come from the stomach. This is your diaphragm relaxing after days contracted in a defensive position. The mental trap you must avoid at all costs today is trying to dam the flood. We were taught that crying is a sign of weakness or imbalance. Your ego will try to tell you, swallow the cry, pull yourself together, you promised to be strong. If you obey this voice and swallow the water today, you will be creating an internal swamp. Water that doesn't flow rots. Emotion that is not expressed turns into sickness, turns into inflammation, turns into resentment. To integrate the truth you discovered in the portal, you cannot just think about it. You need to feel it. Information Gemini needs to descend to the heart. Cancer to become wisdom. And the vehicle that transports the idea from the head to the heart is emotion. Perhaps you cry for the version of yourself that had to die yesterday. Perhaps you cry for the time you lost in the lie. Perhaps you cry just for the brutal relief of finally being safe. The label doesn't matter. Water doesn't need a name. It only needs flow. Cancer is the archetype of the great mother, and a mother does not ask the child to explain the crying logically. She just offers her lap. Today, you need to be that mother to yourself. If the wave comes, do not run to the bathroom to hide, ashamed of your humanity. Sit down, put your hand on your chest, and let the wave break. Let it wash you from the inside. Feel the salt cleaning the wounds opened by the week's battle. You will realize something magical right after the storm passes. The silence that remains is not empty. It is clean. The head which was buzzing becomes quiet. The eyes, although swollen, see with renewed sharpness. The smell of the air seems sweeter, like the smell of wet earth after a summer rain. You feel lighter, not because you solved the problems with your mind, but because you dissolved them in water. The necessary flood did not come to drown you. It came to ensure that you do not dry up and break. Rigidity breaks. Flexibility survives, and nothing is more flexible, adaptable, and strong than water. Do not be afraid to fall apart today. It is in liquid form that life renews itself. Let it rain until the soil of your soul is soft enough to plant the seeds of the new cycle. After the body yields to exhaustion and the soul releases the cry, the third biological imperative of the moon in Cancer arises, the instinct of withdrawal. We call this the protective shell. You will notice today a drastic change in your social battery. If in the days of Gemini you felt a need to communicate, to exchange, to be out and see people, today that polarity has reversed. The world outside, which before seemed like an amusement park, now seems like a noisy and invasive battlefield. The simple idea of leaving the house, entering a crowded environment, or maintaining a superficial conversation with strangers causes physical nausea. You feel a gravitational force pulling you inward, to the bedroom, to the bed, to silence. Many people fight against this instinct. The fear of missing out, FOMO, or the guilt of seeming antisocial make them force themselves to fulfill social agendas that no longer fit their current energy. Do not make this mistake. The desire for isolation you feel today is not depression, nor is it escape. It is incubation. To understand the need for the shell, look at the archetype of the crab. The crab is an animal that possesses a rigid exoskeleton to protect itself. But to grow, it needs to go through a dangerous process called ecdysis. It needs to abandon the old shell, which became too small, and stay temporarily naked while the new shell hardens. During this interval, where it is just soft and vulnerable flesh, it doesn't go strolling through the ocean. If it did that, it would be devoured in seconds. What does it do? It hides. It seeks a crack in the rock, an empty shell, a hole in the sand. It isolates itself, not because it hates the world, but because it needs to survive its own growth. You are exactly in this stage of ecdysis. The old shell of your ancient identity, the one that doubted, that lied to itself, that lived in duplicity, was broken and abandoned yesterday. Your new skin, the identity of someone who holds the vision, is still soft, sensitive, and forming. If you expose yourself to the harsh energies of the world today, you will get hurt. A criticism that would normally bounce off today will cut deep. Heavy energy from an environment will stick to you like tar. You are without a filter. The protective shell is your intuition's intelligent response to this state of sacred vulnerability. Today, your house ceases to be just a property and becomes an external womb. You need to transform your physical environment into a sanctuary of sensory protection. This means closing the curtains. Sunlight might seem aggressive, the dim light welcomes. It means turning off the phone or putting it on Do Not Disturb mode. The digital world is an open window through which cold wind and psychic dust enter. Close the window. Those who really matter will understand your silence. Those who don't understand do not deserve access to your intimacy. It means surrounding yourself with soft textures, blankets, pillows, cotton clothes. Your body is asking for the maternal touch of physical comfort. The ego will try to sabotage you with negative labels. It will say, "You are hiding, you are being lazy, you should be out there networking." Answer the ego with the wisdom of biology. I am not hiding, I am healing. I am not running away from life, I am preparing for it. No one plants a seed and digs it up every hour to see if it grew. The seed needs the dark, the damp, and the stillness of the earth to break the shell. You are the seed today. The protective shell also serves to filter who has access to you. Cancer is the sign of the tribe, the family, the clan. But family in this context is not necessarily who has your blood. It is who has your frequency. Today you should only allow the entry of people who function as auxiliary shells. People who make you feel safe, who do not demand performance, who accept your silence, who nourish you. If someone drains you, that person must stay outside the wall today. No exceptions. Your energy is not an all-you-can-eat buffet for emotional vampires. It is a scarce resource that needs to be directed toward your own reconstruction. Do not be afraid to say no to Saturday night invitations. The no you say to the world is a giant yes you say to your own soul. Stay home. Cook something that smells like childhood. Take a long bath. Let the world spin outside with its chaos and noise. Inside your shell, time is different. Inside your shell, you are the queen and king of your own silent domain. Enjoy the safety of the four walls. They are not a prison. They are the fortress where your new self is finishing forming. Tomorrow, when the shell hardens, you can go out. But today, your only duty is to protect the soft center of your essence. Now that you have withdrawn into your shell, the deepest and most invisible process of the moon in Cancer begins. You have already seen the truth with Gemini vision and spoken the truth with the unlocked voice. But there is an abysmal difference between knowing something intellectually and accepting something viscerally. We are entering the stage of the digestion of truth. In medical astrology, Cancer rules the stomach. It is the organ responsible for receiving what comes from outside, breaking it down with acid and transforming it into nutrients for the blood. Today, your emotional stomach is working overtime. You may feel this physically. It is very common to feel gastric discomfort, slight nausea, or a sensation of weight in the belly today, even if you ate light foods. This is not food poisoning. It is reality intoxication. In the last few days, you swallowed gigantic red pills. You admitted that a relationship is over, or that you need to change careers, or that an old version of you has died. Your mind, which is fast like air, understood this instantly. But your body, which is dense and emotional, takes longer to process grief and change. The realization is sinking in today, and when the realization hits the body, it weighs. Yesterday you thought, I need to leave. That was logical. Today you feel the lack, the fear, and the emptiness that this departure will leave. This is digestion. It is the moment when theory becomes biology. The euphoria of discovery gives way to the sobriety of integration. Many people try to vomit up the truth in this phase. They feel the discomfort of digestion and run back to denial. Because denial is sweet and easy to swallow while the truth is bitter and fibrous. Do not do this. If you feel a bitter taste in your mouth today or a tightness in the solar plexus, do not try to distract yourself. Sit with it. Stomach acid needs time to dissolve the rigid structure of the lie you swallowed for years. This process generates heat, generates gas, generates discomfort. It is the dirty work of healing. You are not regressing just because it hurts. On the contrary, the pain is the sign that your system is absorbing the vitamin of truth. What was before just an idea in your head is turning into character in your blood. Do not rush the process. The mind runs, but the stomach has its own time. You cannot scream at digestion to make it go faster. Let your body assimilate the new reality layer by layer. Today, do not seek new information. Do not read anything else. Do not study anything else. You are already full. Stop eating information and start digesting what is already on the plate. Wisdom does not come from how much you eat, but from how much you retain. Let the truth nourish your cells, even if the process is slow and heavy. When the digestion is over, this truth will no longer be something you know. It will be who you are. Once the digestion of truth is underway, your body issues a new emergency command. It asks for fuel. Not just any fuel, but the kind that heals. We are talking about radical nutrition. Forget the commercial idea of self-care as luxury or reward. Under the moon in Cancer, taking care of yourself is not a visit to the spa. It is a rescue operation. You are energetically comparable to a newborn or a convalescent who has just left the ICU. You are fragile, and fragile beings need dense, warm, and specific nutrition so as not to collapse. The question the Great Mother, the Cancer archetype, asks you today is simple and brutal. Have you eaten? Have you drunk water? Are you warm? It seems basic, but it is exactly the basics that we ignore when we are in war. In the last few days, you lived on coffee, anxiety, and adrenaline. Today, that fuel ran out. Radical nutrition demands that you stop treating your body like a productivity machine and start treating it like a sacred temple that was desecrated by stress and now needs to be reconsecrated. Cook something for yourself. The act of cooking is alchemy. It is putting love into matter. Take a long bath, not to clean yourself, but to let the hot water release the muscle tension that massage cannot reach. Go to sleep early. Sleep is the workshop where the soul repairs the body. Be the mother you wish you had had. Take your inner child into your lap today. Do not criticize her for being tired. Rock her. Welcome her. If you do not nourish yourself now, the truth you swallowed will consume you from the inside. To sustain the portal's vision, you need a strong body. And strength today comes from softness. Eat, rest, hydrate. This is a medical order from your own soul. After lowering your guard, crying the damned water, and nourishing the body, you reach the last and most comforting revelation of this transit, the discovery of your new home. For a long time you sought home in external places. You looked for safety in people who couldn't hold you, in jobs that didn't value you, and in routines that suffocated you. You tried to squeeze into boxes too small, thinking that tightness was a hug. Today, looking around, you may feel a sudden strangeness. The old walls seem not to recognize you anymore. The old conversations do not nourish you. This happens because you moved, not a postal address, but a vibrational address. By crossing the Gemini portal and sustaining the vision yesterday, you immigrated from the land of doubt to the land of truth. And the physical consequence of this is that the old home no longer fits. The new home that the moon in Cancer presents to you today is not made of bricks. It is made of frequency. Your home now is the peace you feel in your chest for no longer lying. Your home is the integrity of knowing who you are. Your home is the comfortable silence you learn to inhabit without fear. Understand, safety is not a place you run to. It is a structure you carry. Just as the crab carries its house on its back, you carry your sanctuary inside your own ribcage. This means the world outside can fall, the market can fluctuate, people can leave, but you will never be homeless again. As long as you are inside your own skin, aligned with your own soul, you will be home. Do not cry for the loss of places where you no longer fit. Thank the shelter they gave to your old self. Lock the door and hand over the key. You built an internal foundation that no one can take away. The instability is over. You are no longer wandering in the cold looking for approval. Light the fireplace of your own heart. Sit in front of the fire and rest. You have arrived. The war is over. The silence you hear now is not the tense silence of an ambush. It is the sacred silence of peace. Yes. You spent the last few days holding the sky with your own hands, guarding the border of your mind, defending your new vision against the attacks of the past. It was heroic, but it was exhausting. Today, the guard has been officially dismissed. There are no more enemies at the gate. Your truth has already been welded into the structure of your character. Your voice has already been heard. Now the only duty remaining is to allow the system to cool down and rebuild itself. Understand that real safety does not come from building high defense walls, but from having deep roots in your own essence. And today you planted your roots in this new fertile soil. Do not feel guilty for closing your eyes and turning off the world. Do not feel weak for needing a lap or silence. The wisest warrior is not the one who fights forever, but the one who knows exactly when to sheathe the sword to heal the wounds of battle. At this moment, under the light of the Mother Moon, the universe has created a dome of insurmountable protection around you. Nothing enters without your permission. Nothing leaves without your will. The chaos outside no longer has your address. You are the sovereign of your own sanctuary. To anchor this frequency of absolute protection, turn off the red alert system and warn every cell of your body that the danger has definitely passed. Leave your final decree registered. Write in the comments, "I am safe. Rest. The vigil has ended."